The ASUS ROG Strix Scar 17 laptop is a fantastic one, and it's a 2021 laptop, so very recent. I have an older one. I decided that it was time to upgrade. So let's take a look and see what this laptop has got. Okay, so I have the ASUS ROG Strix Scar laptop right over here. 17.3-inch monitor, pretty cool. Now I have owned a laptop before, and it was an old one. I really loved it, but at the time it was top of the line. It set me back quite a lot of money when I first got it. And it was a really good laptop, and I figured it's time to upgrade. I don't even use that anymore. I used to use it as a stream PC up until I got this big beast over here. Now I run a single PC stream. But I need a laptop to be able to go mobile, and sometimes I like to work from a local coffee shop. It gets tiring to work from home. I really like it. Oh, so when I open the box, it lifts the laptop. Look at this. Oh, that's super cool. I've never had a box do that before. Okay, very easy to take out. This thing is beefy. It's got some weight to it. This laptop has a 17.3-inch 165Hz IPS QHD display, and the graphics card is an RTX 3080, and it's a 16GB card. So it's a very powerful one. And you know that I like overpowered computers. And I'll be comparing this one, a $3,000 laptop, to my $10,000 gaming PC. If you want to see that, subscribe and stick around, hit the notification bell. We obviously know which one's gonna win, but that's not gonna stop me from running the experiment. It's gonna be pretty cool. The laptop CPU is an AMD Ryzen 9 5900HX with 32GB of DDR4 RAM, 1TB M.2 SSD, optical mechanical per key RGB keyboard, which means each key is individually lit, and naturally it's gonna come with Windows 10 Pro with a free upgrade to Windows 11. Like I've mentioned in other videos, I don't use Windows 11. I'm a little nervous when switching to that because there have been issues with that, and I've heard those horror stories. I'm not ready to switch just yet, and I'm perfectly happy with Windows 10. This particular model is a G733QS-XS98Q. Some people might want to be more specific, so there you go. And it's 3.95 pounds or 2.69 kilograms. This is by far my favorite laptop that I've ever owned, and I've been using it for a while now. There aren't anything that's gonna make it a deal breaker, not even close. I think ASUS has designed this extremely well. It's robust, powerful, and it does exactly what I need it to do. So it can be pretty easy to cram into small places. My backpack is too big for it, which isn't a bad problem to have. I'll probably get a custom bag for it later on down the road when I can afford it after I spent $3,000. And it's that hurt. Now you might be just one of those people who want to see, is this worth it, and then move on. My answer for my personal use, yes, it is definitely worth it. But if you want to decide more on what workflow this works best for and if this is for you, keep watching the video and I'll let you know. Some of the things I would like to highlight right off the bat before we get started is that this laptop has a really nice volume control button right on the front, as well as the mute button. Very easy, especially if you're a gamer. This can come in handy pretty often. All of these buttons are at your fingertips, including the performance, or you can adjust how hard the computer works based on what workflow you have. One neat little trick is the snipping tool. When you hold Fn and F6, you can screenshot whatever part of the screen you want. I don't have that on my other computer. It's nice to have that on here. I also love that the I/O on this laptop are on the back and the left side of the computer, because if they're on the right side, your mouse will be here. You don't want it to bump into those I/O ports or anything that's sticking out of them. It's nice that ASUS has done that because those issues don't become a reality for you. And this laptop comes with a USB on the back of the laptop, USB-C, an HDMI, an Ethernet port, a DC in for your power supply, and it's got two more USBs on the left side along with your mic and headphone jack on that same side. One thing I would mention is that if you're using this for a dual PC stream, it might be a little tricky, especially when you want to get a line in and a line out dedicated on this laptop. Because they're both in one output or one input depending on which way you look at it, it might be tricky to be able to get your audio from this laptop to your headphones with, let's say, a 𝗣𝗥 because you got to plug a line out from this laptop into whatever audio interface you're using, and then get a line in into this laptop from whatever audio interface you're using, so that you can get your stream audio, so your game, your microphone, your team chat, and so on into this computer. That might be a little tricky, but I will be making a video on how to combat that issue when you only have one output in your headphones with your microphone and headphones on your laptop. Now, one thing I do want to highlight about this laptop that a lot of other laptops don't focus on is your audio or your speakers. They're right over here on top of the laptop or underneath the screen, where it's easy to hear the audio. It's It's crisp and clear, comes straight to your ears, and it's not under the laptop where it hits the table first and then kind of branches out from underneath the laptop. It sounds a bit muffled and unclear that way. I like what ASUS has done is put the speaker right on the top here. It's very nice and clear. And the keyboard's pretty easy. Finger travel is not crazy. It's actually just perfect, and the keys are individually lit so you can change whatever color you want on each key. And you can do that in the Armoury crate, and we'll focus more about that in just a minute. One other noteworthy feature about the ASUS ROG Strix laptop is the size of the touchpad. It's very big, and when you drag your finger from one side to the other, mouse travel is the whole screen plus a bit of extra space. So you're going to find it very easy to travel from your mouse from one side of the screen to the other in one finger motion. The touchpad isn't too sensitive, so when you're playing a game and your palm is touching the corner of the mouse pad, it's not going to sense it too crazy. It's not very sensitive, but it's also not unsensitive, if that's a word, so that it doesn't take any unwanted clicks or input from the touchpad. The startup is very quick, and when I turned it on once, I left the computer, went back to my other computer, and continued my work there while it still started up, which I don't need to do. It takes a few seconds, but it played a really loud noise on startup, which you can turn off later if you want to, and this is how. First, type in the search bar Armoury Crate and click open. Enter the home page on Armoury Crate, scroll down and select the boot up sound icon on the system configuration field. And you can turn the audio effect on and off in this setup. So what's gaming like on this laptop? Right out of the box, it can play pretty much any game, AAA games, PUBG, Valorant, Warzone, Fortnite, which is no building now, so nah. And with a Ryzen 9 5900HX, this laptop's gonna work through any game just like butter. I tested Warzone and PUBG on this laptop at max settings and it handles it just fine. One thing I will mention though is on a 17.3 inch screen, it's a little small for my personal taste and from what I'm used to. I'm used to a 27 inch behind me and it's a 2K monitor. So it's very easy to spot my enemies. It's a little difficult on a smaller laptop screen, but you can always plug an external monitor into that. Now you're probably interested on what type of benchmarks I got with this. I ran 3D Mark and the results for me personally weren't very surprising. So the software that I'm using is 3D Mark, and it's a great software. You can get a trial version. You don't have to pay the whole price for this. You can just get it on Steam if you use Steam, which most people do. And it runs through about 4 scenes. This is just a taste of what they are. And it essentially just runs through different types of graphic loads on your graphics card and on your CPU. And it's just gonna essentially gauge how good they are. And I mean, as you can see, the result is actually really good. It's 70% above most laptops in this range, so it's a fantastic laptop. You can see that it's even above gaming PCs from 2020, and it's just under the high-end PC gaming. So the first test that I ran was on battery power, and I didn't even realize it, and it ended up being 30% better than most of the results. And when I plugged it in, it's now 70%, as you can see on screen. And the nice thing about this app is you can see how well it gauges across the averages or what other benchmarks are online, so that's a really nice little feature. Now, one thing that I find a little excessive are the lights, and that's not a problem because you can turn them off if you want to. You've got a bunch of light strips on the front and under the laptop screen between the chassis, and I can choose to turn those on or off. I think the light bar on the front is too flashy, and just personally, I think it just screams I'm a huge gamer enthusiast, and when I'm sitting in my local coffee shop and people give me those looks, yeah, I'm not the type of person who likes to draw attention. So you can turn those off. Search Armoury Crate on your Windows desktop and click your device button. Go to System, Lighting, control your keyboard lights here. Go to settings, and you have to be connected to power to do this next part. You can control your bezel glow and your laptop light zones. It's pretty straightforward and easy. I turned off the front bezel glow because I don't want that. Now, I love this laptop, and there's no way that I'm going to get rid of it. It's very nice. If you do want to know more about this laptop and maybe compare it to some other laptops that I have, I do have a video in the top right in the cards. You can check it out. I'm comparing it to a very similar price range of laptops. And depending on what your workflow might be, you might prefer a different one. I'm also going to make this go head to head with my $10,000 desktop, and we're going to see how that performs. We obviously know who's going to win, but it's still going to be a fun experiment to run. If you enjoyed, subscribe and stick around for the future. I create a lot of educational content with technology, dual PC streaming, and how to just set up your stream and be a better content creator. I'll see you next time, but until then, make something great.